Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Psychic Medium Chris here, and Jillian's with us here in the studio. We're going to be starting a new kind of topic though, since Halloween season's right around the corner. And what we're going to do though today, we're going to be talking about actually different types of spirits, ghosts, and entities, so that there are. But before we get started, hey Jill, how's it going?
It's going. It's been a week, that's for sure. I pulled my neck while I was doing laundry, and now I have a tight piece in my neck, and I can't look right or left these days.
So what? Right when you were doing laundry, you probably banged it on the inside of the washing machine or with the dryer?
No, I was actually lifting the laundry basket, and I turned around to talk to my son, and I heard something pop. So it's been like 4 days. So it's been fun sleeping, that's for sure.
I know those kind of cranks actually in the neck, and it's like, but who knows? Talking about cranks, it might deal with actually today's subject. We'll be back right after this quick commercial break. Are you looking for that hard to find item, spiritual item that your loved one wants to always get, but you don't know right where to check out? Why not check us out here underneath hauntedlivepodcast.com. Underneath our store though, we actually have tons of items from dream catchers, crystals, so many more for you. Check us out underneath hauntedlivepodcast.com.
You follow us here at Haunting Live, and we are honored to have co-hosts on our shows now. Yolanta Mary is our co-host, and she does a lot of work for us on the side and introduces people to the show and discusses different topics on the show. So we're really happy to have her here, so go check out Haunting Live.
Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, log in to Podbean and Facebook Live with Divine Oracle Podcast and Haunting Live. Trevor from Haunting Live will be doing chat with you guys, while Brother Chris from Divine Oracle Podcast will be offering soul coaching cards. Reach out and listen live. You never know what the spirits want you to know.
Alrighty, so yeah, we're back from those quick commercial breaks. Again, those check out every single Wednesday. We're live here underneath Podbean and Facebook with Haunting Live Podcasts at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. With Podbean, though, you have the chance, though, to call in and actually ask questions, and I'll be able to read some cards for you or let you know what the energy is actually saying. And we're continuing actually with the new topic to do with spirits and all that, since Halloween's right around the corner. And today we're starting with types of spirits, ghosts, and entities.
Yeah, so I decided to do this because I like Halloween. It's kind of my favorite holiday. So when given the option, sure, why not? Let's go flow, right? So getting right into it with the types of the ghost, spirits, and entities. So many people are afraid of spirits, which is common, right? Most types of ghosts are completely harmless. Many hauntings are actually just spirits stuck on Earth trying to work through their trauma. However, there are many types of spirits and beings in general. Not all of these otherworldly beings are human souls. It can be really fun to learn about different types of ghosts, as well as kinds of spirits and entities. There are so many types of beings that exist in other realms, but there are also beings that we should all be aware of for protection purposes. Okay, so the types of them are going to be below once we get there.
It's a long list.
It's a pretty big list, so excuse my words and my verbiage. I will pronounce what I can where I can. So there are many types of ghosts and spirits, a bunch of different types of entities. It would be impossible to lift every single kind of them on this list, but this is the start. Instead, the types of ghosts that on this list will be the most common when you're working with the spirit world. There are certainly others, and I will add to the list as I encounter them. Well, as we discover them.
Yeah, yes.
Ancestral spirits. Ancestral spirits are quite literally the spirits of your ancestors. They tend to be around you because of their connection to you or your lineage. So, generations and lots of generations.
Yeah, I know. Sorry for interrupting, but I know with myself though, most of my positive spirits though are on the right hand side of me, And the only one that's on my left-hand side though is my great-grandmother. I'm not going to go on the topic about her, but a lot of you guys know the history, so yes.
Yeah, it's definitely been a topic that you bring up a lot of times in your everything that you do. So sometimes you may have the ancestral spirit near you who actually knew you in person, such as a grandmother, as mentioned, while other ancestral spirits will be from generations back. We find that some ancestral spirits simply enjoy being around their family members, while others actively want to work with you. Ancestral spirits are my favorite types of spirits or ghosts. Actually, well, maybe I would maybe say so, depending on, but for now we'll go with that. To contact if you're just beginning spirit work. They're very safe and will protect you. Unlike other types of spirits who could potentially mean you harm, ancestral spirits are very safe. It's hard to set up good boundaries when you haven't done a lot of spirit work, but ancestral spirits are always on your side, so you won't need to worry. You can simply ask your ancestral spirit if they would like to work with you and see who shows up. I use my pendulum for this, but there are many ways to communicate with spirits. Tarot cards, psychic divination, mediation, etc. to see what spirits would like to work with you. If you're a witch, working with your ancestral spirits will almost certainly enhance your power. They're always there to aid you, but there's something about keeping it within the bloodline that draws power. Ancestral spirits will typically show themselves in a form you recognize. Even though they could take any form they desire, they probably want you to know who they are. However, their appearance may be slightly modified. For example, your grandfather might appear slightly younger and healthier than he was the last time you saw him alive.
Yeah. Now, with that there, it's always good, though, because so many people aren't too sure about their ancestral spirits or family members always being with them. Yeah, they are. There are times, though, that you can actually see them, sort of like what Jillian was saying. But again, that they might not show their true selves so that you remember them. And don't be scared of them.
Yeah, for example, my husband, he sees a younger version of his mom on occasion out the corner of his eye. We didn't know for the longest time what we were seeing, but it looked identically to her, but it was a childlike figure. So, for the longest time it was, we didn't know if it was her or not, but because at the time we started seeing this childlike figure, his mom was still alive. So we weren't sure if that was like a prerequisite for her to dying or something. So we just kind of okay, something's happening. We don't know what it is.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Earthbound spirits. Similar to ancestral spirits, earthbound spirits are types of ghosts who were actually alive on Earth at one point in time. Most earthbound spirits are on this energy plane because of their connection to a place or event. The most harmless and classic hauntings occur because of this type of ghost. It's common for earthbound spirits to get stuck in a place. If they have a traumatic death, they may linger around the scene of the death, unable to release their negative feelings. Spirits can also linger when they feel they have unfinished business. Some spirits don't realize they have died right away and can hang around for this reason. Mediums work with earthbound spirits to release them. Ideally, a spirit can choose to visit Earth but isn't necessarily stuck. However, it can be tricky to get earthbound spirits to this place if you're not an experienced medium. Some scary spirits are actually just earthbound spirits who are personally tormented. They may not even realize that they're hurting anyone. Always consider this a possibility if you're dealing with a difficult spirit.
Yeah. Now, the thing, though, is there's actually, I'm not sure if we're going to go through it, but there are two different types of hauntings altogether. One's called residual haunting, the other one's called intelligent haunting.
Yeah.
Now, residual haunting, though, is sort of like a record player repeating itself over and over and over. Now, intelligent haunting, though, is like having full communication with them. And they know, though, that they have passed on, and that's to do with their bound stuff.
Yeah, they're more aware of their surroundings versus the other one.
Yeah, and the best way I'd say, though, is if you remember the movie with Whoopi Goldberg, Ghost, with Patrick Swayze in it, it kind of explains directly in that one. Even though it's a love story, it deals with to do with the earthbound stuff.
Kind of gives you the idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, next one, recordings. Recordings are one of the common types of ghosts that show up on haunted reality shows. However, they aren't actually spirits in the physical sense. Instead, a recording is a ball of energy that gets stuck playing on a loop in one specific location. The event that cased this energy to get stuck was probably very traumatic and emotionally charged. For example, some mediums see these types of ghosts replaying their own death over and over and over and over again, repeated. The ghost doesn't actually exist in the sense that the spirit is still there, unlike the earthbound spirit. But the collection of energy is strong enough that the events appear to happen on a loop. It's pretty scary to encounter a recording when you're witnessing a traumatic event, but these types of ghosts can't hurt anyone. They can't even interact outside of their loop because they're just a memory. Keep in mind that these types of ghosts aren't actually suffering. You don't need to help them release the trauma. The actual spirit has already moved on. At some point in time, the energy will start to dissipate. This is a natural process that happens quite often. If you have ever felt spooked in a supposedly haunted place, that was probably because you could sense recordings. They're more common types of ghosts that we realize and are much less scary than they seem. Of course, if there is a recording playing in your own home, that may be an issue. Recordings are some of the hardest types of ghosts to get rid of because there's no actual spirit to work with. Depending on which home you're in, depending on what piece of property you have.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes they linger around property and objects. And
talking about that, though, is to do with actually what of how you sort of came back actually into my life, though. You might still have it, though, to do with the cabinet.
Oh, yeah, the Blue Man.
Yeah.
Yes, the Blue Man, yes. We have a cabinet that has been in the hubby side of the generation family there for probably 125 to 200 years for the cabinet. And there's a couple of spirits, we'll call them. One of them, we call him the Blue Man. Because he looks like a soldier, but at the same time he has like the chieftain father figure look. So when you look at him in different angles, he's got a mix of both. Like, we're not sure which way to go depending on the day. At one point we did get a picture of it, and you can really see the indigenous side along with a full soldier side in the same picture. So it was kind of like, what is that? But it's with the cabinet. It's not with anything else. So it moves around when you're looking at it. You can see it in the window. You can, because it's got doors on it. It kind of moves from shelf to shelf, and it stays with the cabinet.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be talking about that a little bit more within the subject.
Yeah. So, you may need to call in other spirits to help you shift the energy. It's a lengthy process. If you do find yourself in this situation, feel free to email for more detailed plans. If you're going that route,
get in contact with Haunting Live Podcast at gmail.com, or even check out our website at hauntingpodcast.com.
Or Divine Oracles.
Yeah.
You got both. You got choices.
Well, we're rated underneath Haunting Live, so yeah.
Exactly. You can pick and choose. You got choices. Oh, spirits of the dead. Spirits of the dead are similar to ancestral spirits, but they aren't just related to you. For example, a husband may have his deceased wife's spirit around him, or his good friend may haunt him in order to keep contact. Spirits of the dead can be any type of earthbound spirit or other spirit. They aren't necessarily struck on earth or stuck at all. Oh, excuse me. But may visit from time to time. Spirits like to keep contact too. Well, who wouldn't,
Yeah.
You just can't make them go away sometimes.
Yeah, and it's so true, though. The reason was because lately I think it's mom or dad that's been having contact with us. And one thing that was, I know it wasn't your son. I know, because I also double-checked with Trevor. But we have a pet cam that's up high, and the pet cam was moved. So it was probably one of my, parents that passed away, like their spirit of the dead. So
well, you might have to pull up the recording, see if you could see. So basically, where are we here? Of course, because all people become spirits when they die, there are some spirits who do wish to cause harm. It's helpful in this case to consider that you are much stronger on this plane than most spirits. Any spirits of the dead has to work extremely hard to move on the item, but it barely weighs anything to you. A simple cleansing and warding of your house should do the trick if you need to get rid of a scary spirit. Alternatively, you can summon spirits of the dead using necromancy. I would not suggest that, but sure. Nothing like that movie with I can't remember his name right now. Sam Raimi, I think. The Evil Dead. We'll get into that later. but instead summon them into semi-physical form in order to communicate or work together. So, yeah, necromancy. No, not a good thing. So, spirit guides. Your spirit guides are personal to you. They are often around your energy field and are available to offer advice and counsel. Spirit guides can be anyone from deceased ancestors to souls you've never met, and ascended masters, or even angels. We find that most of us have a bunch of spirit guides at any one time that are automatically assigned to us and change as needed. You can also request spirit guides for a specific purpose. Some witches believe that you can have both positive and negative spirit guides. Some have never personally experienced this, but others have. It does make sense to us that you can attract a lower vibrational guide based on life choices or events. Use a pendulum to upgrade the spirit guide if needed. Ask for spirit guides with the highest vibration for the highest purpose.
Now, I know exactly who my one spirit guide is. She's on my left-hand side, but at times, so I just wish that sometimes she could be quiet, but I'm actually happy that she's there. She's directing me in the right way of my own spiritual life, and also going forward. What about for you?
Most of the times I don't really pay attention to my spirit guides. I just kind of go about doing what I'm doing, depending on the situation I'm in. Sometimes when I'm driving, I'll get a nudge to my right or my left side, saying, hey, you know what, move over. And then for some whatever odd reason, I'll move over, and next thing you know, whing, there goes a guy doing a $170 down the highway. That's exaggeration, by the way. But it feels like it sometimes. Yeah, people with the speeding and everything, it's getting pretty ridiculous. So the spirit guide can be there to help you in moments of maybe miniature future type avoiding catastrophe. They can sense something's going to happen, and they get you to avoid it split second.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say you can see the life flash before your eyes, and you don't die. That's your spirit guide could be saying, hey, go right, not left.
Yeah. That's okay. So with our next one, though, that we're going to be coming up with, though, is a really good, though, one. Because so many people keep on asking us this question. And it's to do with plants. That's to do with trees, wilderness, or whatsoever. And coming special, which is on the 18th, though. It's a Saturday. Jillian and I will be together with a couple other people. We'll be coming to you guys actually from a haunted location where it's to do with plants. So, Jill, if you want to sort of let our viewers know what.
Alright, so it's called Plant Spirits. So, every plant has a concrete spirit separate from its being. Did you know this? I'm sure a lot of people had no idea this was happening. Plants that had the energy but didn't realize that plants were a type of ghost. A spirit, or more accurately, when you get deeper into the work, then you start figuring out, hey, plants, they can talk to you, right? Yeah. They know through the air and movement, and they pick up on your energy, your emotions and all that. So if you've got a green thumb, your plants are surviving.
Yeah, even if you put your hand actually against a tree, you can kind of feel the heartbeat.
No, plant spirits are wonderful types of spirits to connect with. They're very safe and gentle because plants are immobile. They all have their own wants, needs, and personalities. I did not quite get the whole thing in there, so we'll go back and we'll do when you work with plants, it's essential that you treat them as an actual spirit. If you feel no connection to a plant, that's probably because you're just working with the material of the plant rather than the spirit. It may as well be fake.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, plants are very in tune with their person's emotions and whatnot. So if you're not feeling great and you look at your plant, despite watering it and feeding it with whatever, and sometimes it looks a little dreary, a little down, sometimes, they're feeding off of you. Moving on. Mineral spirits. Although mineral spirits aren't common or well known, they're types of spirits that are all around us. If you have crystals, minerals, or even stones in your home, that you're around mineral spirits without realizing it. Mineral spirits are incredibly diverse because there are so many different types of stones and crystals. You can communicate with your mineral spirits using your intuition cards or your pendulum to learn more about specific spirits and what they like. Each mineral spirit will want to work with you on different things. For example, one spirit may like to work on a relationship or self-love, while another prefers to work on health issues. Most mineral spirits enjoy interacting with people as long as they are treated respectfully. Ask them where they would like to be placed, how much sunlight they need, and how they would like to partner with you if at all. Some of these spirits just won't want to work together. This is rare, but it does happen. They may be super unhappy being pulled out of the ground. The best course of action is to bury this mineral spirit in a place of natural that's to its habitat. Or habitat, not habitat. So, yeah.
That's like that's so yeah. Again, there's a lot of crystals do actually hold energy, sort of like what you got right from that one topic there. One though that does speak to me, and it's a crystal, and it's rose quartz. Rose quartz, though, it is a love one. It's got the ions so that you can actually send out for love, positive energy, so that way you can receive it back. And another one I kind of sort of like working with lately, though, is also the tiger's eye. What about for you? I know you got a couple.
I have a few, and mine are more or less I use for grounding myself, and depending on which situation I'm in. So there's a few. I do have the rose quartz, I have the amethyst, I have the tiger's eye, I have the lapis lazuli, the word I can't pronounce. But they tend to call it a mermaid's tear. I like those ones. The jade is nice too, because we all want money. But no, it's every stone or crystal or mineral is usually personal to the person.
Yeah. And the best way to feel that, though, is use your left hand, which is closest to the heart, right? And if you get a tingling sensation within your arm, it's actually speaking to you. If you do not get anything within your arm, then it's not the crystal for you.
Maybe switch hands, see if it's, depending on what your dominant hand is versus your weaker hand.
But you usually use the closest hand to the heart.
Yeah.
So it's like, so now we're going to go actually on to another great one here, and it's to do with negative. There's a lot of negative in the world these days, but we're going to be looking actually at negative entities.
Yeah, this one goes so many ways with the negative entities. Oh my goodness. They're types of spirit that feed off your energy. They aren't human in the sense of ancestral spirits or spirits of the dead. Entities may be with you for a short time just to get a boost of your energy and then go feed off others. Or they can feed off you for long term. They basically hang out in your energy field and suck vitality out of you. When you have these entities attached to you, it's common to feel depleted, angry, depressed, have different emotions, that kind of thing. There are other many types of entities, but the common thread is that they all steal your energy and are rather hard to get rid of. I have been there quite a bit.
Yes, yeah.
I've lived in a house where just the entity in there just kept drawing and drawing and drawing.
Yeah.
So.
And also those, I've gone into rooms, so, and you can actually feel the negative entities, like, big time. Right?
Oh yeah, especially if they don't want you there, or they're hungry and they see you. It's like fresh meat, fresh vitality, fresh, something.
Yeah, it's like so. What we're going to look at, though, is some more actually common negative entities, though, that are actually out there.
Okay, so it's a rather large list.
Let's just pick some.
So, very quickly, geopathic entities, negative ETs, false light beings, black spiral, henchmen. The newest one now, they call it now zombie. The poltergeist, the greys, vampires are always, something out there. And had to mention that, Halloween coming, the whole season.
Yeah.
The psychic weapon, there is a murderer. You've got warlocks and demons, ET surgical contracts.
Which are to do with the, sort of like Greys, but it's to do with the aliens altogether.
Yeah, and we got the Nordics, Draco shapeshifters, witches, and the disincarnates. So it's quite a bit on there. Some of these entities are actually beings, while others are energetic buildups that don't have a true consciousness. Either way, they all drain you, and they all just need to go away. Yeah. I like my energy.
Yeah.
You can clear your entities using your pendulum or mediation. However, entities are more likely to attach to you when you're either engaging in low vibrational behavior or when you're near people with many entities. Difficult situations such as a toxic relationship or traumatic event can also cause entities to flock to you. So basically, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling drained, you're feeling you're being negative to yourself, you're not lifting yourself up, they kind of go, hey, that's the one I want, and they flock to you.
Yeah, and I love the way, though, that you said that, though, because that's to do with also with mental health. Mm-hmm. Right? Once you're in your low, the negative entities will grab a hold.
Oh, exactly, 100%.
It's like God, and that's why we're always uplifting. You know that, last weekend I went through a major depression myself, right?
No, it takes time to come back from that.
Yeah, it does take time. But the thing though is talking with peers and everything else, kind of coaching you, lifts you up out of that negative area so that way you don't have those negative entities attached.
Exactly. So the next one we're looking at is a goetic demons. There are 72 of them, which are discussed in the Lesser Key of the Solomon, written in the 17th century. These spirits aren't very dynamic and can be really helpful if you want to work with the spirit. Each of these demons have a specific talent or skill. I want the money demon. Give me the money demon. Sorry about that. It's just, when you're going through financial woes, you really just need a windfall from somewhere. For example, if you wish to work on money magic, whoa, look at that. Next sentence. must be something. There is a demon who can help you with just that. These aren't types of demons because they're not really spirits of people. Instead, goetic demons are comprised of many different types of spirits from different beings. There's a lot of variation here. Goetic demons typically like working with witches or spiritual practitioners. It's common for them to help out with spells. They may want something in return, so the recommendation is negotiating carefully. Do this using your pendulum before you commit to working together. Remember, words matter. In a legal sense, how you say things or how you word it can be binding, and when you're dealing with a spiritual realm or any other entity out there, it's about being very clear. Because if you do something wrong, it backfires on you and you pay the price. Yeah,
and it's that there kind of pops in what we were talking about on the phone before you came in, which is actually to do with salt and pepper.
Yes. Yes, I would so badly want to say this. The parking lot down there has a lot of salt and pepper cars down there, a lot of black and white cars. So, it's when you look at it from a height, it looks like small grains of pepper and small grains of salt on the ground. So when the winter comes, it's going to be a lot of white out there.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about winter right now.
No.
We're going to move on.
So, especially within this gorgeous weather that we have.
Yeah.
It's like So we're going to be looking actually at psychic cords.
So with this, it's the psychic cords aren't actually types of ghosts or spirits. It's important to include the classification because the energy is very much alive. Psychic cords can have huge impact on everyone and can sometimes mimic energy like vampire entities or other types of ghosts. A psychic cord is a link between you and another living being, although they're most common between humans or humans and their pets. Some psychic cords can be wonderful because they transmit in love and empathy, and more often than not, psychic cords can also drain us. Question that you guys are freely willing to answer if you want. Have you ever left a conversation with someone you care about feeling a little vulnerable or overly connected?
Type in your answers. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, we want to hear everything, so keep them coming. This may be a psychic cord. It's usually a feeling of codependency. Luckily, psychic cords can be easily cut in meditation. I was going to say mediation. I guess it's both, man. You got to look at it both.
Yes.
No, you just simply visualize the cord between you and the other person, then release it, or cut it, or let it go, or untie it, or however it's connecting to you. Just let it go. And then we're moving on to the Fae folk. The Fae folks are types of spirits that exist in a dimension adjacent to ours. Because they're so close to our world, you can interact with them physically much more than you're able to do with other types of ghosts. Many practitioners are afraid of the Fae. Working with fairies is definitely somewhat advanced, but it can also be really cool. Some people are huge lovers of the Fae folk. Even learning about the other world itself is insanely interesting. So for those of you that like fairies and the Fae folk, go for it.
Now, I'll let you know, over in England, before we go on, fairies are well known to be negative energy compared to the new modern world, which is over here in North America. Fairies are actually well known to be positive.
Yeah.
So,
and most Fae folk are location bound. That means if you encounter a fairy on a hike, you're probably not going to bring that one home with you. However, this isn't always the case because fairies don't have the same physical rules as us.
now, before we continue on to do with Fae folk, you've been actually out on locations with us in the past. We came across Fae folks.
Yes, I kind of remember those couple of times that we've done that, but they're not very big. They're small.
Yeah. The one that reminds me, though, is actually to do with that one house. So it was along the water, along the ocean. Not ocean, sorry, again. Well, what most people from the UK call the ocean, but it's actually one of the Great Lakes. We were helping out with a client, though, and that's right when our past guest wanted to hear Jackson was with us, and the light turned on, and you were downstairs. It's kind of meditation, and there was Fae folks around you. Jill, do you remember that at all?
I am starting to remember. It was a house in the southern regions of Ontario, close to a body of water. Can't really give out the location due to privacies, but I was actually doing some scribing on paper, and I went through probably about 6 or 8 sheets of paper, throwing down different words, different meanings, anything I was hearing, I was listening to, and the little Fae folk were around, and they're pretty loud.
Yeah.
Now, being the fact that I was scribing, I'm not what you call a scriber. I'm a little bit of everything person. So I was kind of just writing things down, scribbling while you guys were doing the rest of the house of the investigation. We had the cameras rolling, we had the recorders going. Let's just say it was a very full 2-hour, 3-hour investigation. It was very draining too.
It's okay. So, all right. So we'll be back after this quick commercial break, and we're going to continue on to do with actually different types of angels, ghosts, and entities.
Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, log in to Podbeam and Facebook Live with Divine Oracle Podcast and Haunting Live. Trevor from Haunting Live will be doing chat with you guys, while Brother Chris from Divine Oracle Podcast will be offering soul coaching cards. Reach out and listen live. You never know what the spirits want you to know.
All right, so we're back from that quick commercial break, and we're going to move on with elementals. They're the next ones on the list. Elementals are quite literally the spirit of the element. For example, there are elements for air, earth, fire, and water. These beings are part of the elements, but are also tasked with safeguarding their element and nature in general. Every tree has a spirit within it. Every body of water has a spirit tied to it. You can probably find elementals right in your backyard. According to some traditions, there are actually gods or guardians for each elemental. For example, in some traditions, there is a specific god of water, also known as an elemental king.
Yeah. Now, I'll let you know with elementals, some people claim, though, that Squatch/Bigfoot is actually an elemental. The reason is because they can actually be there 1 second, the next second gone. And nobody's actually found the remains, but there's a claims actually of Bigfoot/Sasquatch. There's also to do with the gnomes.
Yeah, they kind of pop out of somewhere and then they pop out or disappear. It's like they're there and gone. It's like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Right? Moving on to deities and gods. There are so many different types of these, of the gods, the deities, goddesses, that it's hard to know where to begin. Every tradition or religion has its own set of gods and goddesses that exist in other dimensions and realms. These deities will sometimes agree to work with us based on a variety of factors. There are Olympian gods and goddesses, Roman deities, Vikings, nature, Celtics, African, Hindu deities, pagan, Wiccan gods and goddesses, etc. Like, there's so many out there. You could name them all if you wanted to. It's a big list. If you're interested in working with deities, the best place to start is by researching. Do a lot of research on the types of deities you'd like to work with before beginning. That's kind of important.
Yeah, that is recommended big time.
Yeah, you don't want to be pulling out a god or a deity and then not know how to put it back.
That's right. So, now the next one, though, is actually my favorite one. It's what I'm actually certified with, and this is with angels.
So how about you take this one?
All right. So basically, there's actually different types of angels altogether. I'm not reading the footnote. Basically, those most people think about biblical time periods, but there's more than that altogether. Angels are ones that actually do work with us directly. They're celebration angels, or actually angels work with us down the road, and vice versa. Have you ever gone driving and you know that there's a gas station way ahead, but your car breaks down? This is for people that use gas, or even the e-cars nowadays.
We struggle.
All right, yeah. All right, they'll let you traveling all along, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty much on empty. And then all of a sudden you call out and you say, angels, can you please make me be able to get to this location? You get to the location. That there is actually your angels working with you, so the way you can actually be able to be safe and be able to go on regularly actually on during your life. There are, again, those approximately 4 to 5 different types of angels. The highest angel out there is Archangel Michael. Now, Archangel Michael does fight against actually the negative side. My guardian angel, though, is Gabriel. Gabriel works with me actually on my spiritual life. And talking about negative, we're going to move down to our next one, though. And our next one, though, is to do with demons.
Yeah, so this one's one that I've had personal experience with. So we have the goetic demons that we had talked about earlier in the show. But what about demons in general? Yeah, some of them are not the greatest. Demons have been a source of fear and interest for centuries, so definitely want to address these types of ghosts if you can call them that. Demons, by large, are chaotic. They are opposite of angels in this way. Angels are very structured and oriented. Angels each have a designated role. Demons mainly serve themselves. They don't necessarily mean that they're bad. That just means that you don't always know what to expect when you're working with a demon. The goetic demons are some of the demons out there, but many more exist. It's found that chaos witches often work with demons because they literally gain power from chaos. Demons are neither good nor evil. Any demon can act good or evil, but there is no inherent bias. Some demons enjoy working with humans, but they often have a price for their help. Make sure that you negotiate carefully so that both parties are happy with the agreement. Of course, demons can be negative and scary. Some negative entities are actually demons, but this doesn't mean that all demons are bad. Angels can be scary, and so can the Fae, elementals, or even regular types of ghosts. You just need to be strong, keep your protection wards up, and know exactly what you want before you try summoning a demon. Now, I don't know why anybody would want to summon a demon, whether it's good or
look
bad,
at your kid.
hey,
Look at your kid.
Oh my goodness. My kid went out to the backyard at my old house that we lived on in Cambridge there and started digging a hole, and she's like, Mom, I wonder how far I can go down in this hole, and she dug so deep that we had to do a research on the property, and we come across that there was a hole in the ground, or a building, and it had a door, and she wanted to dig enough to open that door. I said, we ain't opening that door. But whatever she dug down, it let something out. I tell you, it was not great.
Yeah, pretty much every other night, Joe was calling me.
And I was like, "What is that in my backyard?" It grew. We have pictures of it. My oldest daughter and her best friend had actually drawn a couple of pictures. They sat in different rooms. They didn't want to cheat off each other, and they drew pretty close to what they thought was what they were seeing, and they were pretty close on what they drew.
Yeah, so it's like so demons are real. And what else is going on with this little section to do with
Okay,
demons?
so on the last note, demons won't seek you out if you don't try to contact them. I beg to differ on that one. Yeah, but anyway, if you feel like there's a negative being in your house and have done absolutely nothing to call this being to you, it's probably one of the other types of ghosts or entities. In fact, it would be much more cautious to be around some of the entities that was talked about above. That would be demons in general. However, demons can be pretty powerful, so you should know what you're doing if you summon them. This was not summoned, this was released by digging a hole in the backyard.
Yeah.
Sorry. Unlike the more benign types of ghosts, some demons have quite a bit of physical power on our plane. They can move large objects or hurt you. Demons can be hard to get rid of once you summon them. Make sure you have your cleansing and warding down pat. It's also a good idea to have some pretty strong banishing spells under your belt before you're attempting to working with demons. In general, this is a good practice unless you're working with the much safer ancestral spirits or type of ghosts who personally you know. That demon today is still located on that property. It's been tied to that property, bound, and sometimes I drive by it, and that spirit has reduced in half size, but is angry.
Yeah.
Like, it is...
Well, again, though, it's like what you were saying about your awesome boy.
Yeah.
All right, it is at times so he cannot go to sleep in the room. The creature was actually outside of the house.
Yeah, the whole back of the house, all the whole back wall and everything. Like, it was looking in the windows, it was scaring the kids. Although my middle daughter, although she's the one that released it, couldn't see it, couldn't feel it. It wanted nothing to do with her, but yet it was going after everybody, including the husband. And one time he was sitting in the living room watching TV, and he felt this pulling sensation. And he couldn't understand what it was, and he got up and he turned around, and there was this big black dark shadow thing behind him. He yelled for me, and I came downstairs. And again, I'm not practicing. I'm not a practicing witch or a medium or a psychic. I'm like a combined everything, but not practicing.
Well, you've got the skills.
I've got skills. So I threw everything I had at it, and I put a ward up on the house, and it was draining me daily to keep that thing out of the house. I managed to do it until the day we moved out, and then I locked it to the property, so it couldn't follow us. But it's at the property, and I would have to say that karma for us being evicted from that property, that guy who owns it, he's on his 6th person now for renting that property. So yeah, karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, excuse my language.
So no, it's fine. It's fine. It's like so this property though does actually have it's still basically up for rent.
Lease, yes.
Right.
Yes.
People move in, they have to move out right away altogether.
Yeah.
So again though is that was actually our topic to do with actually ghosts, elementals, and also to do with
spirits.
Spirits, yes, thank you. So again, hopefully this actually helped you out, especially right when it's Halloween time, right around the corner. If you do need some help, if you can't find anybody, if you're finding negative energy, reach out with a demonologist. That would be good. And so what we're saying to you guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. You guys have an awesome one, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good day.
What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this. Yeah! I've had the opportunity to meet and spend time with comedians and talk show hosts from countries like Russia, countries in the Middle East, who tell me they would get thrown in prison for making fun of those in power, and worse than being thrown in prison. They know how lucky we are here. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. He was somehow able to squeeze Colbert out of CBS Then he turned his sights on me, and now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans who work for their shows who don't make millions of dollars. And I hope that if that happens, or if there's even any hint of that happening, you will be 10 times as loud as you were this week. We have to speak out against this.